your balls to the wall, man. This is the Balls to the Wall program right here live on reallibertymedia.com on this Friday night, September 15th, 2017. Beware the Ides of September. Maybe about 6 months off on that saying, but I think it still applies on this particular September evening, September day. We've had a lot of Ides going on. Wait, Ides don't go on. That just means the middle. Anyway, welcome to the program. This is Grimnir here with you all tonight. Moose Girl is out on the town at the casino. Probably broke by now. she didn't take much money with her. And I know if I went to a casino with the amount of money she had, unless I won right away, I'm done in like minutes. Anyway, maybe she knows how to deal with it better than I do. Yes, indeed. Anyway, welcome to everybody, wherever you may be, listening on the audio stream out there. Vinny and Chloe and unknown folks from unknown lands. Maybe Solomon out there, who knows? Down there, wherever he is. I say down there, I don't know where he is. He could be anywhere in the world. Or if he's listening later, howdy to you. Welcome to the folks over there on the Freakdoms Network. Always glad to have you here with us. Why does that show that I've got audio coming out of that channel over there? I don't think I have anything audio going on the Freedoms Network. I got the little speaker icon on my browser tab there showing there's audio coming there somewhere. So interesting on that. But anyway, howdy to everybody over there, whoever you may be. And welcome to, if you're listening on TuneIn or Internet Radio or where else we at? I don't know. Wherever we're at on the audio, welcome to y'all. Over here on the IRC, welcome to those folks over there in the corner pocket on the Crush and Run IRC network. I'm not sure who's all tuning in over there, but I see some folks. Vincent Dubois, possibly, and I don't know, Bodie, and it could be anybody. Oh, wait, Bodie's a bot, isn't it? Well, bots listen. I know Barman tunes in, and I'm assuming Fluke does. That's probably why I got that speaker I got on Freedom's Network. So welcome to you folks over there on that, and if anybody's over down there in the red pill, IB Don C's IRC little network. I don't know. Whatever. Welcome to you folks over there, and mostly welcome to the folks here in the Real Liberty Media channel on irc.freenode.net, either via the webpage or using your own IRC clients, wherever you may be. Good to have you here with us tonight, with me, with us all the folks here in the chat. We got the Barman and the Cowboy Tech, and me and Miss Kate and Asmo. He could be awake. We don't know. He's a sneaky guy. He may be out there listening and just not chiming in. But you know. Anyway, we got Beth Z and we got BTC Bob and Burble. Burble Vinny. I don't know. Vinny's gonna call in a bit later and talk to us about some stuff that has been going on. We got Chalcedony and a couple of Chloes. Can you imagine? And Graham's, who's maybe not sitting there at her computer talking, but whatever. And now Beth has got a dash. Anyway, and we got Don C and the Java Doctor and JJ's, who was on there playing some music earlier. We got the Juana Taco and Mr. Meisterbrow, Miss Rain and the Fluke Bot and a couple of Bob Bots, Tip Bob and some other ones, and Rome's a.k.a. Trust No One, the Beetle, Dimma, Frumpy and Gooberzilla and Jehovah's somebody's bot there, Kozu and Vincent Dubois, again over here, Puxified, and Flash, a.k.a. many names tonight, Social Security. Sock Puppet, welcome back, Sock Puppet. He was offline for a while there. That damn Irma come through and caused a big old mess down there where he's at, and it's just not nice, Irma. But you know how some gals get. Oh, anyway, today they burr balls. He's got burrs on his balls. Ow, that's gotta hurt. Anyway, today this cop that killed this guy and then planted a gun evidence on him earlier, about 6 years ago now. It's been 5-6 years. This cop out there in the St. Louis area, he killed this guy. He was chasing him down, and he said he didn't like having to chase him down. He was all pissed off. He said, "I'm going to kill that guy." Well, he didn't say guy. He said a bad word. He said a bad word, that cop did. He was chasing him down because they got that on the recording. It's right there on his freaking recording. He's chasing him down. He said, "I'm going to kill that guy," and then the guy pulls over or whatever, and he gets out and he goes up to the guy's car and he shoots him dead. Shoots him dead as a donkey dick. And he's kind of checking out, and so, well, I don't see any guns in there. So he goes back to his car, and he takes his shotgun back there to his car after he killed the guy, and he reaches into this little gunny sack that he has, and you can't see what he does. You can't see him pull it out. But then he walks back up to the guy's car, and he's kind of dorking around in there again. Later on, the cops find a gun in the dead guy's car, and then they examine that gun. And on that gun, they find some DNA. They find some DNA on that gun, but it was the cop's DNA. There was none of the supposed perpetrator's DNA. No audio on the show link, really. Chloe's listening, so she's on the audio. I know that much. So the audio is working. I don't know what the deal is there, Sock Puppet. I can't really help you there on that. I don't know what's going on. Everything's working as far as all my indicators show. I got audio going out, and people seem to be tuned in. So I'm gonna guess maybe some leftover Irma stuff. I don't know. Just tune in on the video. That's what I'm saying. No audio on the show link for me. No, the audio's there. I checked that out earlier. It's working. Anyway, so this darn nasty cop. Anyway, so today, all these years later, they decide, yeah, we're not going to find that cop guilty. He killed somebody that we knew we knew because they told us he was a bad guy that he killed. So because he killed a guy that was supposedly a bad guy, he's therefore not guilty, murderous or not. So they started this thing up there in St. Louis today. There were a bunch of people out there marching, protesting, they say. They look like they're just out for a stroll, but the cops didn't like a bunch of people out there for a stroll, and so they went after them. Well, they went out there in all their jackboot uniforms, and tried to cause some shit. They didn't really get any shit going, but they tried to cause some shit. Anyway, it's just a typical same old thing that you get. The cops do some kind of terrible thing, and then they dick around with it for a long time, hoping people forget about it. And then the people don't forget about it, and then they let the cop off, let him go, and then they keep on blaming the people that they were victimizing in the first place. Anyway, why am I talking about this? I don't know. I saw some live video on it today, and there's no surprise in it. There's no shock in it. There's nothing to me anymore. It's just the same old goes on every time the cops kill somebody. They do that shit. So yeah, there you go, Chloe. RLMradio.xyz. Did I even mention that? See, I didn't even mention RLMradio.xyz. That's a great little site. I might be a little biased from that. But yeah. Anyway, let's play some music here. I got some music lined up. VLC works great. Yeah, VLC. You can listen on VLC on the direct stream link there. However, whatever works for you. I think this is the right link, and I think we're lined up properly. It looks good. Okay, good. And this is David Essex. He only had one song. You know what it is. All right, I have no idea what that little bit at the end there was. Sounded like maybe Motley Crue or something. I don't know, cutting in there on Thin Lizzy. But and it was scenes from some movie that I don't recognize either. Anyway, Thin Lizzy, the boys are back in town from 1976. Before that, Godsmack covering Joe Walsh's Rocky Mountain Way. And we kicked it off there with David Essex way back in the day and his song, Rock On. So, just a little, old classic rock and roll style stuff there for you. Get things going here on the Balls to the Walls show. And I see Sock Puppet finally got tuned in. Good man. Tessa joined us here in the chat. And Beth Z likes rocking on. I like rocking on. Everybody likes rocking on, really, don't they? Oh, man. So, last week all kinds of shit was going on. We had solar flares, we had hurricanes, and we don't have any of that this week. That's all out of the way now. That's off into the wilderness. What happened there? What did I just do? Oh, that's what I did. Yeah, this week is fatigue. This is the leftovers, the post-storm stuff. Maybe it's Moosey related. Moosey could be the storm bringer. Moosey the storm bringer. That would not actually surprise me. Oh, she is a fire woman, fire horse lady. That Moose girl. She'll tell you. You just ask her. Fire horse lady. Don't leave nail. Oh, she doesn't leave nails laying around. But when shit gets blown around by a hurricane. Yeah. I found some zenny places this week after the storm. Rock on, Tessa. Yes, indeed. So let's see. I think I got some stuff lined up. Some kind of interesting little news stories. Oh, yes, let's cover these stories. Equifax. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Go back, you monkey butt. All right, let's do it over here. I needed a new tab, and I forgot to get a new tab. So, Equifax. Now, I think I mentioned this a little bit last week, and I think Hal mentioned it on his show, but we're going to mention it again here, because some of the stuff they're saying just it ain't copacetic. It don't make sense to me. Anyway, this here on CNET, and don't be starting a stupid video. We don't need your videos. You gonna start a video on me? Knock it off. Shut up. Okay. Equifax data breach. Find out if you were one of the 143 million people hacked. Now, they're saying that 143 million is about half of the United States, which, if you count everybody in the United States, I suppose that's true. But if you count everybody that's possibly got a credit card, then the number is much higher than one half. Anyway, so it goes on here from a September 11th update. Update here says, we recommend that anyone with a credit history assume they were affected by the hack, as Equifax Hack Checker tool proved unreliable in our tests. In addition, Equifax's Credit Freeze website was also shown to be very hackable. Yeah, you go there to say, hey, I found out I've been hacked. I want to get my numbers frozen, and the system don't work. It just don't work. It's a piece of crap. Anyway, so they revealed on September 7th that their databases had been hacked. Of course, they knew for about 45, 60 days before that. that they had been hacked, and they just didn't tell you because they were busy selling off their stock for one thing, which I would think would be somewhat not quite exactly copacetic, not legal. That's insider trading, is it not? Um, I think that's insider trading. I can't say for sure, but it sounds to me like they had inside information that they were using to selling off their stocks before the stocks fell to shit. Once this bad information came out. Kate asks, is it true the free monitoring they're offering includes a can't join class action lawsuit clause? Abso-freaking-lutely it does. if you sign up for their service, you are indemnifying them against any damages from you should you get wiped out by this particular hack. I'll get to that here in a second. So it has an enrollment page. You go there, begin enrollment. Actually, let me first give you this link here, because I'm going to go to the next link on this. Because I went to their little site, and I put in my information, and it says, it looks okay to us. Looks okay to us. Well, interestingly, I don't think they've come out with anybody that did this hack yet. Anyway, on that page there, that's pretty much the information they give you. But if you go to this other site, and let me clear that. I don't need that. If you go to this other site here, it's the Getting Started page on the Equifax site. You put in your last name and the last 6 digits of your Social Security number. Last 6, 6 out of 9. Which seems rather extreme, but that's what they're asking for there, and I guess it's no big deal. Of course, if their other pages are hackable, this one's probably hackable too. And then you just do a little "I'm not a robot" thing. But go ahead and try it out. Put your numbers in there, and if it comes up like mine, it'll say, "No worries. It doesn't look like you were hacked at all. You're all good to go." At least that's what it told me. Anyway, and if you are hacked, what are you supposed to do? Because since their sites don't work, the ones that give you some kind of remedy, it's really there's really not a whole lot you can do. But over here on Lifehacker, which is not about hacking at all. Well, it is, but it's about hacking life rather than other stuff. Is this the one that tells you here? Yeah, it tells you at first the I forgot. I should have marked the spot that I was going to read to you. But it tells you here to consider putting the freeze and fraud alert on all 3 of your credit reports. So maybe you could go to Experian or who's the other one? There's another one. There's 3 of them. 3 of these companies that do this. Now I don't know how they decided they were the ones that had the ability, the right to basically screw with your life if they felt like it, which is what they have. Anyway, it says Equifax is waiving the charge to get your credit reports, but if you sign up for their little service, the credit freeze service, you're screwing yourself. Should you wind up losing a bunch of money due to that if you try to sue them, because they'll, like I said, you're indemnifying them from any further damage that you may. Did I give you that link? Did I put that link in here? Let me see here. I don't know where I'm at. So that's the deal on the Equifax deal. Don't trust them. Don't trust them. Don't trust them. I don't have credit cards. I don't know if my my stupid what do you call that, bank card, debit card goes through one of these services or not. That's the only card I've had for the last, I don't know, 6-7 years. I got rid of all my credit cards. Didn't need them. Didn't use them. Didn't like them. Didn't want them. Anyway, so there's that there. Just be careful. Don't trust these bastards at all. Um, but maybe you could go and look at that tool on their site and see if on the that page that links that says getting started on trusted idpremier.com, and you can find out whether or not you were supposedly hacked or whether your information was included in the hack there on that. So anyway, that's that for that. Oh man. Now, another, I guess, banking issue, since we're on the topic of banks and such things. One second. I need some. All right. This story, I don't know if it should surprise you or not either, but here it is. It's on the rawstory.com. Bank has an entire Arab American family arrested after the father tries to deposit a large check from the home sale. Now, normally, I guess, normal, if you go through a realtor and all that crap and pay the realtor their 3, 4, 5% of your house price, which, whatever, these guys did it on their own. And so in Kansas, an Iraqi-American doctoral student was arrested along with his family after attempting to deposit a large check from the sale of their house. According to Wichita State student newspaper, the Sunflower, Sattar Ali, who moved to the United States in 1993, yeah, he's been here a while, 1993, took a check for $151,000 for the sale of his family's old house in Michigan to Wichita's Emprise Bank. As he told local station KAKE, he brought verification documents along with him, but a few minutes after he first presented the tellers with the check, he was in handcuffs. After being taken outside, Ali discovered his wife, Hadil, and their 15-year-old daughter, Hara, were in the back seat of a jackboot's car waiting for him. Sometime during their 3-hour detainment, Ali said police called his 11-year-old son's school to tell them to hold him because the parents had been arrested. He said he didn't discover until after they were released that he and his family had been arrested because the bank claimed they could not verify the large check and believed it was fraudulent. A likely story. No, yeah, he just happened to be some Iraqi guy, and they arrested him because they thought it was a fraudulent check. Yeah, that's the story. They thought he was a freaking terrorist. That's what it was. Anyway, we were devastated, terrified, crying the whole time, Ali said. We had no idea what the arrest was for. Ali told the Sunflower he believes he and his family, as I believe, were racially profiled because the large check came from somebody with his name and not someone named James or Robert. He says, let's assume I made a mistake and gave them a bad check, Ali said. Why would they arrest my wife and daughter? A very reasonable question. Ali, who, along with his wife and children, are American citizens, lived in Wichita from 1998 to 2008 and was returning to get his doctorate in engineering from Wichita State, where his eldest son is a freshman. He said the arrest marked the first time feeling unwelcome in Kansas City. I would expect this in the 1950s. Not now. Yeah, well... Oh man, tell you, I'd hate to be of Arab descent and be in this country at this point in time. Yeah, it would be a horrible thing because you know they're gonna fuck with you, and you know people are gonna fuck with you. just because people are so afraid by all the fear mongering on their various propaganda outlets to clap. Just anyway, I guess this song fits right in with what we're talking about. Not necessarily, but the title does anyway. And this is Carlos. Yeah, Carlos. You know him. You love him. Here he is, Carlos Santana. Ah, that's great stuff there. that video, I haven't even seen that video till just now. We're seeing it live first time there with you guys. Leo Maraccioli, he just released that today. White Wedding, covering Billy Idol's White Wedding. Headbanging Barbie and some Muppets there. I guess you just have to call them puppets because Muppets is probably trademarked. Anyway, Leo Maraccioli there, covering White Wedding, doing a nice job of it, at least in my particular view on that. Yeah, so fun, good stuff. He's so funny, that guy. Anyway, before that, Bush with Everything Zen. I played that for a particular reason today, but I'm not going to reveal that reason to y'all. But that was Bush with Everything Zen. And we kicked it off there with Santana and No One to Depend On. Now, Chloe E. points out that Billy Idol is now 61 and we should feel old. I saw Billy Idol when he was playing with Generation X, which, if you don't know who Generation X is, that's the band Billy Idol started off in. It was a good show. I used to see a bunch of punk shows. Yeah, they were a punk band. I guess Billy Idol's kind of punk, kind of more. He went more popish punk when he went solo. But yeah, I like Generation X. They were a good band. And old, yeah, I'm old. I guess depending on who you're talking to, you know, I'm old compared to some of the newer, younger folk. The youngsters in the crowd, which I think generally overall, Real Liberty Media is a fairly older crowd. We've probably mentioned this before here on Freakers / Balls to the Wall. Yeah, we tend to be a little bit older than your average IR or internet chat group. Mature. That's a good word. Sure, I'll take that word. Mature sounds good. Wisdom, yeah, well, maybe. Knowledge. Knowledge is not always wisdom, but I'll take it. That works fine. Wow, I got some stuff in here I did not even... Oh, yeah, I'm going to put that one in there, too, for the next set. This next set that I'm lining up right now, you won't even hear it for a while, because Vin E is about to be calling in any moment now. Vin E, Vincent Easley Jr. And he's going to be talking about some stuff here. ZFG. What the hell is it? Zero fucks given. Yeah, that's about as many as I give. I got plenty to give, but I ain't giving them. Ain't handing none out. Those don't come free. Anyhow, you know, see, for me, and Beth says she forgets her age until she looks in the mirror. I look in the mirror and you know, it's you have that what do you call it? Selective vision, where you still kind of maybe see yourself as not as old as you really are. However, and it's kind of funny for me, for somebody at my age of 57 years old, I still have full head of dark hair. Very little bit of gray. Selective hearing works too, yeah. Anyway, full head of dark hair, and my brothers, I had two brothers, and both of them started going bald in their 20s, and so I don't know what happened, other than the fact that I know they both had different fathers than I do. And so that's probably it. My father was half Seminole. I mean, not half, was Seminole, making me half Seminole. So that's probably why I wound up with still having a full head of hair, and they got none. We're talking none. I only got one brother left, but the other one, he was bald in his 20s too. Hello, you're live on Balls to the Wall with Grimnir.
And selective vision.
Selective vision.
Yeah, that's about perfect segue into tonight's topic and some of the engagement I've been getting.
Before you go on, caller, why don't you introduce yourself to the people so they know who you are?
Oh, yeah, because I do know who I am, of course. This is Vincent Easley, and I am reporting on the field for reallibertymedia.com. That's rlmradio.xyz. I'm currently in Las Vegas in my tour around the country this year. So about 9 months in, I guess.
And that would be Las Vegas, Nevada?
Yeah, and not up the road from you in Mexico. But so, yeah, I'll be here a couple of months anyways through the Bundy trial, which will start October the 10th. And that's Vincent Ray Easley the third birthday.
The third? Oh, I thought you were a junior.
No, I'm the second.
You're the second or you're the third?
Second.
So you're a junior?
No, the second. You know, like King Vinny the Second, right?
All right. So now you have a report for us about some wrongdoings in the Just Us system. Is that correct?
Yes, I do. And I'm going to premise this with a couple of introductions here. This is a response to a video I put up about a year ago, not showing an ID to a state trooper. Now, thanks to Minds.com and a share over there, and I've been here, who has really been instrumental in getting a lot of the word out with Hal Anthony, especially. Appreciate you. So I'm pretty sure if I refreshed it, it would just be now over 33,000 views, which is like 31,000 more than what it started out as here just a few short weeks ago. 63 comments. Oh, and I'm signed in as Real Liberty Media here. I guess, yeah, and we did give that a thumbs up. But so I want to talk about that free press. We're going to lead into. I want to talk about the purpose in filming this. It was the first time I ever filmed a cop. First of all, so I start into the filming well in after the stop, and I'd like to state this that I'll skip down just a little bit. A guy had made a comment that a trooper about 25 years ago had been he was killed by somebody in behind him like that. So I can imagine that. This trooper right here will probably have gotten some slack. I'm pretty sure a lot of other cops have seen it and so forth. But I'd like to make the statement there that he didn't have feel any threat for me. I was wearing shorts. I was coming back from the river, flip-flops and shorts, no shirt. When he pulled us over, I'm gonna follow standard operating procedure in this manner. I'm gonna keep my hands in plain sight. Make sure that he knows there's not a threat. So, but this cop, he knew the driver, and had pulled him over several times before. So the guys know. I'm pretty much any of the deputy sheriffs out there and the sheriff know me, and many of them on a first name basis. So this trooper had never encountered me before, and he's doing what his job is patrolling. So he's going to run me for warrants. He did admit, because I asked him, I just wanted to make a record of it. Not to be a smart aleck, not to be a burr, yeah, maybe a bit of a burr under the saddle, to give him that maybe perhaps a little hitch in his giddy up on how he goes along after this. Call into question, because if they're going to try to hold this account legally, then they need to be able to stand for the law. All right, so that's my purpose, not to be a troublemaker, but to set a record and ask some questions. So there's a lot of comments there. Some of them are good, some of them are hateful, but that's just fine. But like I said, I am a bit embarrassed by the number of views here, and I just feel like it needed a little further explanation on my part. So that'll be that. And
you got a link for that?
Pardon?
So you have a link for that?
Oh, yeah, I sure do. I'll grab it. And let me hand you the mic just a second while I do that, and I'll
All right.
have a swallow this right here.
So, yeah, Vinny's going viral on the YouTubes. And I got to say, if you didn't have some hateful comments, then you weren't making an impact. I think you're doing all right. Having those in there on that.
Absolutely, and I don't mind getting them. I'm not a junior frumpy. So there it is. It's dropped there into the chat. You're probably hearing it now.
Right,
You've seen it already.
We got it.
Yeah. Also on Twitter, because Gary Hunt, who recently redacted his publications on the informants, that the FBI documents that got leaked were mailed to him. But anyway, so posting a bunch of that on Twitter, and a lot of people trolling, scrolling, which what they say, no bad press. So that's good. It's getting more exposure by these people coming along with their ridiculous logical fallacies, and I'm not going to chase those rabbit trails. I'm not going to come up and try to defend every accusation. That's not my point. My point is this matter of free press, and I would cite some example. Let me open that. It is. Whoops. Hold on. That's Freedom's Network paper.ly. I guess I didn't open it, but it is Los Angeles versus the United States, and that is on the Pentagon Papers. So it was during the Nixon era, and the Pentagon Papers, just real briefly, is a study done by McNamara of the Vietnam War for what he said for history's memoirs. But anyways, Nixon tried to charge him with espionage and all this other stuff. But later the charges was dropped when they found out, of course, through Watergate, that Nixon had targeted him. But so anyways, that sets precedent, at least certainly, that leaked information. It was later in court, that they was okay in publishing that. So here we have Gary Hunt, Outpost of Freedom. And he's been writing for nearly 25 years now. So they try to make him look like he's something less than a journalist by calling him a blogger. But in fact, he is an accomplished writer. Has been engaged in the fight for freedom for a very long time. So kudos to him. He and I spoke over the phone here a couple of days ago, and then again yesterday. And so with this suggestion, I'm republishing. I'd already republished it, and it's not like he's telling me to do something, but he had said to me that there was so much, because I put them in 10, lots of 10. So I'm just going to break them down and republish them one at a time. There's 9 of them, so one of them's out. And for that Twitter seller there, no, I'm not making money. I put that steaming up. I just started it. Was it today or yesterday? I don't care about no pennies, no nickels, whatever. I'm not in this in commerce, and I don't have any of my stuff monetized, not YouTube or nothing. So, all those views mean little or nothing, other than the fact that information's going around. And well, it's me having questions. I don't claim to be an authority on anything. I'm just a person with a lot of questions and engaging in life. So, on with Gary Hunt. He received these documents in the mail on a thumb drive, and it was a published list of informants, and it was an FBI document that went to the courts, and they didn't mean for that information to get there because it listed all the activities of people involved, and they don't want it to be figured out who their informants was. Well, Mr. Hunt, through investigation and interviews and talking with other people, put it all together, who those people were, and then he took the documentation to prove it.
Let me ask a question here.
Yes.
He received this in the mail on a thumb drive. Does he know the source of that thumb drive?
No. It could have been a leaker from the FBI themselves, for all we know.
All right, so sympathizer.
Excuse me, what's that?
Something. Yeah, so it must have been somebody not necessarily agreeing with the prosecutors on that.
Okay, I missed. I'm sorry. I
was just asking you. So it's probably somebody that did not agree with the prosecution.
Yeah, and it was surmised that perhaps it was somebody in the defense side, whether it be a lawyer or one of the people, the defendants. But who knows?
Well, if it was a defense side, okay, that's believable. But I mean, was there a gag order or something?
No,
I mean, that's public documents once it's to the court.
Yeah, but I don't know exactly how that worked, but they were quickly trying to retrieve that. But it was redacted. So there was a finding of facts in law for September 17th, and so January 5th, there was a letter from the U.S. Attorney delivered by the FBI to Gary Hunt, and basically, calling for a cease and desist. That's not the right word, sir. So, but anyways, he was arrested April 2017. August 23rd, he had a show cause, and that was his stand is that it's to inform the public. So the prosecution, they filed a memorandum and would drop the charges if the offending materials were taken down from his website. So U.S. District Court Judge Anna Brown, she issued a contempt of court for having delivered the informant's names. I guess that delivering was a publication. So anyways, here, let me flip the page. Well, so the long story short here comes is that Mr. Hunt took the offending material down. It's all redacted, but like I said, I've got all of that. I'm probably not the only one, but I have, stepped front and center, so to say, in putting that information out and letting people know. So I have, like I said, put myself in the spotlight, and I think freedom of press, that is free speech. The First Amendment is very important, and the Second Amendment go hand in hand, and that's where we go back to the Bundy Ranch, and there's the same there at Malheur. Now, Ammon and some of the other boys up there in Oregon in the first trial, of course, they were not convicted of anything, and there was a second round, and some of those guys were. The prosecution, the state here in this U.S. District Court is really they're getting to make as many pitches as they want to, and they keep striking out here in this prosecution, and they've really put themselves on trial, and I think they're getting a black eye. There's talk on jury nullification. What is in the minds of the jurors? Which brings me over to, this is from Gary, one of his, well, let's see, it comes from Readout News. Liberty, laws, justice, and despotism. And I'd like to read about 3 paragraphs here. So for more than 600 years, that is, since Magna Carta in 1215, there's been no clearer principle of English or American constitutional law than that in criminal cases it is not only the right and duty of jurors to judge what are the facts, what is the law, and what was the moral intent of the accused, but that is also their right and their primary and paramount duty to judge the justice of the law and to hold all laws invalid that are, in their opinion, unjust or oppressive, and all persons guiltless in violating or resisting the execution of such laws. Unless such be the right and duty of jurors, it is plain that instead of jurors being a palladium of liberty, a barrier against the tyranny and oppression of the government, they are really mere tools of its hands. For carrying into execution any injustice and oppression it may desire to have executed. But for the right to judge of law and the justice of the law, jurors would be no protection to an accused person, even as to matters of fact, for if the government can dictate to a juror any law whatever in a criminal case, it can certainly dictate to them laws of evidence. That is, it can dictate what evidence is admissible, what is inadmissible, and also what force or weight is to be given to the evidence admitted. And if the government can thus dictate to a jury, the laws of evidence, it can not only make it necessary for them to convict on a partial exhibition of the evidence rightfully pertaining to the case, but it can even require them to convict on any evidence, whatever that it pleases to offer them. So that the rights and duties of jurors must necessarily be such as here claimed for them, and will be evident when it is considered what the trial by jury is and what is its object. So further reading there, that's just a small little piece. And when I put this all together here, when we cut this and stuff, I'll include links and also to the Pentagon Papers and so forth. I'll pause and catch my breath and hand you to Mike Grimnir.
All right, yeah. I look at the case and the one up in Oregon, the Malheur deal, and all I could think, the only thing they could really possibly even get them on would be trespassing, which I'm not even sure that's valid since it was public land, which they're supposed to have right of way too. But all the other charges that they filed against these boys, those are all trumped up, and the fact that they had informants and spies going on in there in the first place, that seems to be something beyond the scope of what their powers ought to be, considering what was going on. Everything was open there. There was no reason to send in a spy. I mean, everything was out there on the internet. Everybody could see what was happening, and they were telling you what they were doing. So,
well, you know that.
What
the big thing with the guys that you know, the informants, you know, several of them were involved in perpetrating what might be, you know, illegal acts. I mean, God, we could talk about this forever. All the times they send in, you know, their operatives to, you know, manipulate situations, and I've seen it firsthand in Bunkerville, and it's just, you know, straight out of the play clock. But you know, it's important for the defense to have this information. I mean, anything that's being used as a government, just what I just read, you know, we got to consider what is the tool here? It's not for the government to persecute, but for the people, the juror, that is the country. There's more reading on that. You'll find that in the link. And that is a juror, and that is the country.
Did you give me that link?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
And I'm away from the computer right here.
All right.
So, I stepped out here into the backyard looking over at the lights of Nellis Air Force Base. I get my own private air show every day. Front seat. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah, the temperature is pretty nice here, especially at night. It's wonderful. And I'm going to get out into the night here tomorrow night and go meet my cousin when he gets off work. And so I will be in another location by Sunday. Anyway. I'd like to just think that the people involved in this trolling here, I kind of enjoy it in so many ways, and really in other ways they don't deserve any response because they're not even up to par. Candy coatings wore off with me. Kind of like I guess gotten too many lessons from behind the woodshed. I just feel like things have to be.
How many licks did it take to get to the middle?
Well, I ain't to the middle yet, baby, but I've got a lick around the rim.
All right.
But truly, freedom of speech here. Well, where do you draw the line?
There's no line.
A lot of people are rubbed raw by him. I have personal experience working with Janine Gordon and that's Jaja, with Suzanne Posel. Both of them had run-ins with Pete, and I'd worked with both of those girls before going to Bundy Ranch. And when I met Pete, when I first saw him, I didn't know who the guy was. I was like, who's this guy? Dog-eyeing around, and we locked eyes, and we're like, scrutinizing each other. Personally, I didn't care much for the guy's style, and all prejudice aside, I think some of his language was obviously,
inflammatory.
Inflammatory and a bit, hidden in a way, ambiguous, I guess. But that's his style. He's one to be a shock jock type of guy, right? Me, I don't give a crap for fame. I don't care how many people will click or whatever. I ain't doing it for money or fame. I'm, speaking up because this is what I've concluded in life, that this is what we have an obligation to do, and to set a record.
Yeah, all we can do is try to get the information out there, and people are going to listen to it or not.
Yeah. Well, if you can affect one person, you've done something. So, and that begs the question, and they will also do the same. It's going to be exponential at some point. And we really do, and I've said this so many times, we have, the first time in history, we have an opportunity as a collective to make things right. There's enough information and knowledge out there that people know things ain't what they have been made to appear to be. Transparent. We've been seen through. We've not been seeing it. We've been seeing through it. That's that transparency that Hal talks about. And the hitch and the giddy up, by the way, search that there on Real Liberty Me. That was playing earlier. We're listening to that. And BTWRLM 200, Hal referenced that, and go back and listen. And so the BTL, I forget the number, the hitch and the giddy up, that was a lot to do with Quo Warranto and dealing with the Bundys. And unfortunately, so much of Hal's information has fallen on deaf ears. He's, tried to get the word out several times out to Sugar Pine Mine, to the Oregon standoff. And, of course, was instrumental in at least shaping my thought there and how I proceeded, how I step through and amongst that jurisdiction that was out there.
BTW RLM 229.
229 for Kitchen the Giddy Up.
Yeah.
Well, I probably missed a lot, but that's kind of basically it, covering it. And we'll keep going on this. My brother's going to sit down with me, and maybe I'll be able to learn to actually make a video thing with this, whatever. He's got a good program or something. But if it's idiot proof, I may have a chance. I about forgot. Jay Cynthia Brooks, my web wife, beautiful actress and daytime soap star from It's Fun, and whom I've produced radio for in the past. So, yeah, we had a little publicity stunt, and I got engaged on Facebook there some time ago, 2 years back, maybe 4 guys, I don't know. lot of fun. And anyways, she's looking to get back into radio, so I talked to her and I told her to get some stuff together, and we'll get together and have a little talk and see what we can come up with. But very interesting person, and her program would be based on holistic healing and healing and so forth. She's a cancer survivor, cured herself. I hate that word, sorry. She corrected the causation of cancer and beat it many years ago. She's a great gal and a good entertainer. We've cut up quite a bit on the radio. She and I did several podcasts together, and I closed her broadcast series out at UCY.TV, Cancer Kickers. Previous to that was I Cure Cancer with Ian Jacqueline. Ian. I always mix up the English and American pronunciation. He's a film star, kickboxing champion from Canada. Pretty neat guy, impressive career as well. Anyways, so I look forward. Hopefully, we can bring that together. Not often you get to speak on the phone with a movie star, but a lot of fun. She really is.
Yeah, well, that'd be great. So you're gonna do a show and bring her on?
Yeah, you know what? That'd be a good idea. If maybe let's figure out broadcasting here. I brought my sound blaster with me, but I only have one computer. I might have to see what I can do and tie into my brother's or something. A broadcast through there.
So you could do it on
little one here.
You could do it on just the one.
Perhaps. I had trouble there in Arkansas with that one. I had to use my 2 computers together.
Yeah. Well, let me just tell you to take a look at Rocket Broadcaster software. It's not perfect or anything like that, but it should handle some of your audio issues.
Well, when we come to that point, I will be calling Grimnir to the rescue.
All right, Grim Dandy. Yeah. All right, man.
All right. Well, I'm headed back to the keyboard. Thanks, Grimnir.
All right.
I appreciate it. And we'll talk to you, and I'll ask you to cut this, and I'll put it up to YouTube, and hopefully I'll be able to maybe put that over onto some video or something background. I don't know if this one will make it to that cut. I probably won't get through the learning process to do that for this, but anyways.
All right. Well, throw the link there in the chat, and thanks for calling. And find any good stuff out there in Vegas, go out and report on it.
I sure will. That's I will be doing. And see you in chat.
Yep. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Vincent Easley there with the update on the Hunt situation. And Of course, I guess they feel like they can do whatever the hell they please, because that's what they do, so they must feel that way. I don't really have any other explanation for them other than they think they can do whatever the hell they please, so they do. I guess they think nobody's going to stand up and say anything against them because they're the mighty and powerful Oz of your land. But every now and then we get somebody that has exactly that ability and goes ahead and does so. So anyway, let's get to some music here right now, starting with a request. Where's my camera? Here it is. All right. And away we go. We got any Avenged Sevenfold fans out there? I ask again. Of course we do. Yes, indeed, Avenged Sevenfold, covering the Rolling Stones as tears go by. Before that, we had The Creep Show and The Devil's Son. And we started off with a special request there. The Doors, Riders on the Storm. Yeah, you know that video. It's a fan-made video. 75,672,283 views for a fan-made video. Not too shabby. Hey there, Hansel. Welcome to the show. Oh, boy. Yeah. That's quite the deal. 75 million views for a fan-made video. Whew. Yep. So, what's anybody got going for the weekend? Anything special? What is this week? This is 15th. Can't think of anything coming up. Well, looks like it's clear. Next Friday is the equinox, the beginning of fall or autumn, if you prefer. Other seasons don't have two names. How come fall gets autumn? Huh? There's a question for you. Right. The great leveling out. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. Anyway, where were we? We got that one cleared? Yeah, we got that one cleared. Stop it. Stuff moving around on me here. Oh, and I think I've talked about this before, but it was a new article. It just came out. So I thought I'd cover it again because, I like these kind of stories. And they're always kind of fun to deal with. But here we go. From thedailywire.com. Sex robots. Gooberzilla, you listening? Sex robots could be hacked and programmed to murder you. Now, I know you're big on these sex robots there, Goober, which, one can hardly blame you. my thing about a sex robot here is I don't want a sex robot that's online. That would be bad. That would be wrong. Do you want a sex robot that's got like cameras for eyes that's watching what you're up to and listening to everything you do and reporting it back to some place where a hacker could break in? No, I don't want sex robots that are reporting back what's going on between me and the robot. That just sounds wrong. But this is even more wrong. Here is, as manufacturers try to create realistic-looking and functioning sex robots, tech experts warn that these robots are designed to create mind-blowing and other parts of the body-blowing experiences and may, in fact, blow your head off. Literally. Sex robots are increasingly becoming hyper-realistic, with the dolls able to respond to voices and touch as sensors are placed on their face, hands, breasts, and genitals, make them more human-like. Some men who have emotional attachment issues says that the dolls are better than the real thing because, well, they have off switches. They don't mention that here, but but they do, are better than the real thing because of the ability to control it and fulfill their desires. However, cyber expert Dr. Nick Patterson warned that sex robots could be hacked more easily than a phone or computer. Once breached, the hacker would have full control of a very powerful robot. Hackers can hack into a robot or robotic device and have full control of the connections, arms, legs, and other attached tools. Wonder what those might be. In some cases, knives or welding devices. Now, if you have a sex robot that's got a welding device, or a knife actually for that matter, but a welding device, I don't know where what option you got that gave it a welding device, but I don't want that option on mine. No welding devices on my sex robot. Often these robots can be upwards of 200 pounds. That's a lot of robot girl, and very strong. Once hacked, they could absolutely be used to perform physical actions for the advantageous scenario or to cause damage. That's right, Vinny. I want sex robots that do not report back, that do not show live video of me having sex with it. That would be wrong. Anyway, Patterson, who has encountered skepticism to his claims in the past, quickly points out, as a reminder, just how connected people's lives are to the Internet. Robots need an operating system to operate just like our phones, tablets, and laptops, Patterson added. As we have seen, it's popular to have everything connected to the Internet these days, the Internet of Things, as they say. Phones, fridges, surveillance cameras, smart homes. Robots are no different. Well, I guarantee you mine would be. Well, one of the most influential voices in the development of AI is Elon Musk. Musk has repeatedly warned developers, consumers, and government officials of the danger that AI presents to you and your kind. I said easily. Anyway, and he warns that steps must be taken to regulate it before it's too late. Anyway, I'll let you go to the balance there, but it says these robots come with a price tag of $10 grand for a little sex bot, which seems, I don't know, is that high? Whoop, I already put that in there. Let me get that out of there. All right. I just need to give you the link on that one. Yeah. No, sex robot sounds great, but you know, I don't need one that's gonna be giving information to anybody. Oh man. Anyway, there's that wonderful story for you. Oh, come on. What? I don't want that. Undo that. How do we... Sometimes my toolbar moves around on me, you know? I don't know what the deal is. And I think I've mentioned this before, too, in some manner or another, but apparently it's just gone live, or dead, as the case may be. Are there still Best Buys where you live? There may still be a Best Buy at Albuquerque. I don't know. I know that when I first moved here, I went to Albuquerque and bought some stuff from Best Buy. I think I got my refrigerator and my washer and dryer at Best Buy. I'm not positive on that, but I'm pretty sure that's where I got them. Anyway, Best Buy pulls Kapersky antivirus software from its shelves. Kapersky said the two have suspended their business relationship. And So here it is. Amid growing concern, speculation, hysteria that Kapersky Lab products could be tied to the Russian government, retailer Best Buy has stopped selling its antivirus. Minnesota Star Tribune first reported the move, citing a source who said that the company felt there are too many unanswered questions. After conducting its own investigation, there's no word on what those questions are or why Kapersky's offer to share its source code isn't enough. They're going to give you their source code, and that's not enough. It's open source basically at that point. Shows you, you can look for yourself. Can you find a backdoor in there? No. But it doesn't matter because the U.S. government says, oh, we don't like a Russian company. Of course, there's no American company that does quite as good of a job at finding these viruses. And that's probably the real problem there, is that Kapersky finds the American government viruses. So they don't want you to have it because they want their viruses to be undetected. Oh, God. Anyway, that's the Kapersky software there. St. John lost its last Sears. That's a shame. Or is it? I don't know. The Russian Girls Gone Wild version of the sex bot. How about the German Girls Gone Wild sex bot? That's probably a very kinky sex bot, though. From what I understand, them Germans have... Anyway, let's talk a little bit more about computers and security and privacy. Is what this is here. It's a system. It's called, or a phone actually, called Librem 5. That's Librem 5. A security and privacy focused phone. Yeah. You know that the new Apple iPhone thing came out this week, and they're doing some kind of like face scanning thing. Can the sex robot clean? Well, if it should be able to. Should be able to not only clean itself after you're done with it, but it should be able to clean the house. Maybe make the food. I don't know. Do the yard. All that stuff for $10,000. You should be a robot that does more than just spends a few minutes a day with you. Anyway, short story. Librem 5, the phone that focuses on security by design and privacy protection by default, running free Libre and open source software and new Linux operating systems designed to create an open development utopia rather than the walled gardens from other phone providers. A fully standards-based, freedom-oriented system based on Debian and many other upstream projects has never been done before. We will be the first to seriously attempt this. The Librem 5 phone will be the first ever IP native mobile handset using end-to-end encrypted decentralized communication. Now, if you're familiar with Ubuntu and Ubuntu software, they've been promising for a long time to come up with a phone operating system, and it's never quite come to pass. These guys look like they're probably going to do it. They're selling hardware, phones and tablets and computers. Not cheap ones. No. They're pretty decent ones. It looks like the phone is going to follow suit there on that. However, as well as the Librem 5 phone, they also, like I said, sell computers, but the OS is downloadable for your perusal. You can check it out and put it on your computer. Some people have a lot of operating systems on their computer that they can boot into, and why not add another one? Anyway, they go through and they show a competitive chart, all the stuff that the Librem 5 will do versus the iOS, the Apple, or the Android phones, and everything on the Apple and the Google are no, and everything on the Pure OS on the Librem is a yes, which is you control the device. Trackers are disabled by default. Property protection is on by default. It does not track you. It has layered security protection. User-controlled source code runs GNU Linux. Separate CPU from cellular baseband. IP native communication first. Decentralized communication by default. Anyway, you can look up on the top bar there and go to the Pure OS link on this page and go ahead and Pure OS, and download the Pure OS for your computer and check it out there, should you so desire. If you like playing with operating systems and software and stuff like that, I'd say give it a whirl. It's, if you're considering any other Linux version or flavor, or you're already using several different Linux versions, Remnant Lib. All right, let's get back to some music here. Let's see. Oh, we got a question here. Grimnir, but the encryption will be embedded in the chip, much like written in stone. I don't know that. I don't have that information offhand. But either way, you can always encrypt. Use your own encryption beyond what's on a chip if it's on the chip. Nobody. Are they going to have men sex robots for the women? I'm sure they will. Why wouldn't they? And actually, there's probably men that want men sex robots and women that want women sex robots. I don't think it's gender specified who the customer has to be. But I would imagine that they are probably available in multiple flavors. I don't know. Oh man. Anyway, like I said, let's get back to the music here on this balls to the wall program. Where are we at here? There's the camera. I knew I'd find it. This is a request from Miss Tessa. Oh yeah, there. A bit of Smokehouse for you, doing Cadillac in the Swamp. That's some groove and stuff, to be sure. Dig it. That's all I can say. Just dig that stuff. That's a great sound. Anyway, before that, we had a Kate/me request. Anyway, Eric Clapton and J.J. Cale. Anyway, the wind blows. I also saw it sitting in there with him was what the hell's that? Derek. And there was somebody else there too. I don't know who it was sitting down there on the end. I couldn't quite make them out. But that was some good stuff there, definitely. And we kicked it off there with a request by Ms. Tessa, the Bloodhound Gang and the Bad Touch. Now, I noticed that during this last set, as I was playing that set there, one of the topics I talked about during the last part of the show here was the sex bots. And wouldn't you know, that topic kept on in the chat. Sex bots. It's not like sex bots is a unusual topic for this particular chat. not unusual at all, actually. Actually fairly common. And now they're talking about sex bot porn fluffers. I tell you, sometimes things go a little bit awry there in the chat. Just a little bit. But that's all cool with me. What? just looking at what's going on here in my list of requests and trying to see what goes where and when it goes. Just for grins. Sometimes it throws me for a loop, though. Make sure I don't do the Moose Girl stuff on the days that Moose Girl's not here. Now, hopefully Moose Girl will be around next week. I hate doing 2 of these in a row without her around. But, you know, I guess I will if I can, or if I had to, I suppose. I have before. But, anyway. Now, I posted this link there in the chat the other day, and I don't know if Grammy talked about this or not, but I'm going to talk about it a little bit right now here for you. This is on the rawstory.com. All lives splatter. Sheriff sorry after department posts meme that promotes killing protesters. There's a little meme there. It shows a picture of a Jeep running some people down. It says, "Nobody cares about your protest." This is Chelan County Sheriff Brian Burnett had issued a formal apology after a meme that glorified running down protesters was posted on the Chelan County Emergency Management's Facebook page. The Seattle Post-Intelligencer reports that a Chelan County Emergency Services worker this week accidentally... this meme didn't create itself. This meme took some time to be created. So accidentally posted an offensive meme to his department's official Facebook page after initially intending to only post it to their own personal page so they could laugh about running protesters down in private. But somehow it went public. The meme said, "All lives splatter," and featured a cartoon of a car running over protesters. The meme also said that nobody cares about your protest. Keep your ass out of the road. "I don't wish to harm anyone," wrote the employee, right, who has yet to be publicly identified, "but protesters don't belong in the road." Now, I wonder how these wonderful gentlemen would feel if this was a meme of just whoever running down a bunch of cops, just running, mowing down the police. Nobody cares about those pigs. That the meme would say. All blue lives splatter. How about that? Blue lives splatter. All blue lives are part of all lives, right? They call themselves blue lives, although they're not actually blue. They're not Smurfs or anything like that. But apparently, they're perfectly fine with picturing running down protesters in whatever road or street, or probably up on the sidewalk too. I don't know. But a lot of protests do happen to take place in the street. Just the way it goes. But I guarantee you put one up there of a car plowing through a bunch of pigs, they're not going to have fun with that one at all. Oh no, not in the slightest. But I think that should be the next great meme. A bunch of goddamn jackboots getting run down by just probably a whole group of cars. I don't know. Maybe a steamroller would be good, you know, flattening their asses out. Something like that. That's right. Cop lives splatter. Blue lives splatter. Pig lives splatter. Oh. I gotta run nobody over. Ain't worth the time to wash the blood off the car. And besides, the smell. Do you really want that smell? I mean, come on. Yeah. You know, most of them people ain't took a shower in a while. right, protesters. You got to put quotes around protesters because they mostly they are planted, paid scumbags that are out there doing what is called protesting these days. Anyway, I just thought I'd have to share that there with y'all. It's disgusting. Like I said, it's on the rawstory.com. If you're interested in such nonsense for whatever reason. A hanky? What the hell am I going to do with a hanky? Okay, I've talked about many times here before the beneficialness, the beneficity of drinking coffee. I love coffee. I know a lot of y'all like coffee out there. Some of you probably like coffee as much, if not more, than I do, which I find a little hard to believe because I really like the coffee. However, beneficity, yes, there you go. So here you go. From Mercola.com, posted on 9/11. Coffee is even more beneficial for those over 45. So again, another benefit of being an old fucker like I am. Yes, indeed. So research has emerged showing the benefits for regular coffee drinkers, but particular advantages were found for individuals aged 45 and older. Among those aged 45 and over, every 2 cups of daily coffee lowered the risk of dying during the study period by 30%. I am never gonna freaking die. If 2 cups a day lowers it by 30%, then I've at least doubled I drink a whole pot of coffee every morning, so that's it's a good 12 cups there. So, anyway, so I'm up 120% at this point. The study also noted a 22% decreased risk of all-cause mortality when study participants who drank 4 cups of coffee a day and added 2 additional cups of coffee per day to their regimen. I don't really consider it a regimen. It's just whatever. Maybe it's a regimen. I don't know. But yeah, I love the coffee, and Tessa says she loves the coffee, and coffee and rice pudding. Ew, don't want rice pudding. I like rice. I'm not really big on any kind of pudding, but I guess rice pudding. Tapioca, is that what that is? Is that the same thing? That's probably different. I don't know. Yeah, I don't want. Yeah, food and the coffee. Yeah, no, that doesn't really work for me. Either, Beth. Anyway, there you go. There's your thing for the day. There's a whole bunch more detail there in the article. I just gave you the little story at a glance highlights on that with cinnamon and raisins. I've had rice pudding before. Whatever. It's okay. I could take it or leave it. Mostly leave it, I suppose. I did like this story too, and I posted this earlier this week in the chat. I'm going to share it with you because it's gnarly. Blood-sucking tick carrying killer disease sparks panic after it vanishes at a press conference, warning of its dangers. Oh, man. Officials and reporters desperately tried to recover the deadly beast at the event in southwest Japan. A blood-sucking tick has sparked panic after it vanished at a news conference aimed at warning of the deadly disease it carried. Deadly disease it carried. Officials from the Miyazaki Prefecture government brought the live beast. They're calling it the tick a beast. The live beast, along with a dead one, to the event in southwest Japan. The dangerous beast managed to scuttle off, and officials were unable to recover it. But when the dangerous tick was laid out at a table, it managed to run away, prompting a dramatic search, which failed to recover the arachnid. The room was showered with insecticide, which I imagine all the people inside were also showered with insecticide, in a bid to stop the fanged beast. Miyazaki Governor, somebody Kono, apologized for the embarrassing incident today. He said, "We should have been more careful." You think? About safety management, as the prefecture is in a position to alert its people. The news conference was held after several residents were struck down with, what is this word? Thrombocytopenia syndrome, or SFTS. I don't know how you get that out of that word, which the tick carries. The slippery tick reportedly vanished when an official tried to pick it up with tweezers. Oh, I love that kind of stuff. These people are such idiots. It did remind me, though, and I think I mentioned this in the chat when I posted this article in the chat. It reminded me of the time when Colin Powell, if he actually had any, which he didn't, anthrax in the vial that he was holding up at the general meeting of the United Nations, just waiting for him to drop that vial of anthrax, right? Well, it was probably his own personal stash of coke, and not anthrax, of course, but so he's holding up this vial with this white powder in it there in the General Assembly of the United Nations. And I was just waiting for him to drop that thing. That was back in, 2003? That would have been freaking hilarious, watching all them UN people trying to scramble out of there so they didn't get the anthrax on them. Oh, boy. And this would have been funny to see a live video of, too. On this particular incident. But in that vein of bugs and diseases and such things, let me share this with you. Hurricane Harvey story. U.S. government pesticide spraying in wake of Harvey. A toxic boon to agrochemical giants. Ah, yes. The insecticide Naled kills mosquitoes. It also wipes out honeybees, now undergoing a mass die-off attributed to its use, and it's toxic to you, especially if you're a newborn. It will now be sprayed on 6 million Texas acres as part of the United States government's Harvey Recovery Plan. Harvey Recovery Plan. They're spraying you with poison and calling that a recovery. This article on mintpressnews.com. Amid statewide efforts to clean up the aftermath left by the historic flooding caused by Hurricane Harvey, the Pentagon. This is not like some health department or something like that. No, it's the War Department. The Pentagon announced last week that it had dispatched C-130H sprayers from the Air Force Reserve's 910th Air Wing in order to assist with recovery efforts in eastern Texas. However, these recovery efforts have nothing to do with rebuilding damaged structures or with resettlement of evacuees. Instead, they are set to spray poisonous chemicals in order to help control pest insect populations and pesky human populations, which they allege pose a health risk to workers and residents of Houston, as if spraying the poison on them poses no risk. I have to laugh at these things. That's right. That's how the zombie apocalypse starts, Vinny. Anyway, there's more to the story for you all to check it out there. mintpressnews.com. For those of you that are checking it out later, and if you're not looking at it on the blog, then there you go. That's that. All right, let's get to some more tunage here. This first video that I'm going to play in this set here. This first video. Any of y'all that ever seen the movie Black Snake Moan? This is a video featuring Christina Ricci. She was one of the big stars of that program, along with Samuel L. Jackson. Anyway, this is a video. It's a blues tune, Catfish Blues, by Osman Wahhabi. And I think well, I got nothing else to say about it. You in Black Snake Moan, not Black Cat Moan, Black Snake Moan. Did I say cat? Enjoy. Oh yeah, Black Betty. That's the stoner train there with Black Betty, their version of Black Betty. I love that song. I love Stoner Train as a band. The guy's voice, that's just awesome. Anyway, before that we had Beth Hart doing "I'd Rather Go Blind" with Rock Quiz there. She is so amazing, awesome. I love Beth. Anyway, before that we had Jethro Tull, a Hansel request there, "Sick as a Brick." Yeah, that song messed me up. I didn't realize it was 12.5 minutes long, and I was planning on having a couple of minutes to talk about stuff in between, but I did, like I said, anyway. We kicked it off there with the Catfish Blues, with scenes from Black Snake Moan, Christina Ricci there, by Osman Wahhabi. Yeah. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up. Tomorrow you got the Dork Table at noon Eastern. Yeah, the Dork Table. And you'll want to see that or listen to that. Tune into that here on RLM Radio with Grammy and Flash. It's good stuff. Even Hans might want to tune in to the Dork Table, although he seems opposed to it. Anyway, then I'll be on Sunday morning with the Blues at noon Eastern. And some trivia here in the chat. Come on in, play some trivia. Listen to the Blues. You'll have a good old time. And that runs up until 3 p.m. Eastern, which is what time Hal Anthony comes on behind the woodshed, opening up his style, his huge size, can whoop ass. And you probably want to tune in and listen. Get the information you want. And at 7 Eastern, hopefully, fingers crossed, Gary L. and Gigi's Boo on the road less traveled. I'll be back again next Friday night, hopefully with the Mighty Moose Girl. That's all. Peace.